Good day, Algebra. We are going over PO9, Unit 2, and this entire unit is on exponents and the exponent rules, and actually quite a lot of them. There's lots of different ways that exponents can be used, especially when we start to combine expressions. But PO9 is kind of all about our introduction to exponents, our introduction to powers, and what they look like, expanded form, standard form, things like that. Just so we have an understanding of when we get to actually working with them with expressions. So first of all, what is an exponent or a power used for? What does it look like? Give me the backstory of exponents and powers. It's an operation in PERMDAS, so it's got to be important. Paisley. Okay, it represents how many times a number is multiplied by itself. You know, math, it's all about making things simpler, faster, more efficient. You know, back in the day, when people were like, oh, I want to add 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. And it's like, I don't want to have to write that out. Well, that's how multiplication came to be, right? Multiplication is repeated addition. You're taking 4 5 times. Both of them equal 20. So then people are like, well, okay, what if I want to multiply a number by itself over and over and over again? I don't want to have to write that out. Well, that's why we have exponents. An exponent really just shows repeated multiplication. Okay, that's what it's used for. That's its purpose, to show repeated multiplication. Shows repeated multiplication. Okay, and as Paisley said, it's how many times a number is multiplied by itself. An exponent or a power shows repeated multiplication, and it's how many times a number is multiplied by itself. Yes, sir?
Are you going to need to use exponents in real life?
Oh, just wait, my friend. Just wait. They are applicable. The base of an exponent. The base of an exponent. Andrea. Yeah. Yes. So in our example here, the base would be the 4. It's the number that is being multiplied. The number that is being multiplied. Sometimes it's a variable too, right? So maybe the number or variable that is being multiplied, but it is attached to the power. Okay, it's that number in front of the power. It's the number that is being multiplied. Like I said, it can also be a variable, right? But is attached to the power. Okay, and then a coefficient comes before the base. And here's the thing about coefficients. They are not affected by the power. Okay, the coefficient comes before the base that is not affected by the power. And we'll get to what that looks like just a little bit. Yes, sir? Your binder? Yes, that would be important. Go ahead. And then expanded form is writing an exponent expression as repeated multiplication. Oh, it fits. Whew. Writing an exponent expression as repeated multiplication. So expanded form of our example is writing it out like that. 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. Right? We've expanded it. It's much shorter to write 4 to the 5th, but understand what that 4 to the 5th means. It means 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. Any words you can't read? Any definitions you need repeated? Any more time? Yeah.
Is it affected?
Yeah.
It's affected, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Not affected. With an A, not an E. because it's a verb, not a noun. Affected. Ready to move on? Give it another 15 seconds, and then if you still need definitions, you can watch the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Yeah?
I was going to say, what's the second line of base?
Affected by the power. Oh, yes, it's affected. Move on. Sam, we'll see. Okay. So down below here, we get some samples here. It says for each term below, identify the coefficient, the base, and the exponent. Then write each term as an expression in expanded form. And then finally, evaluate the term when n is 2 when you have a variable in it. So this first one, I'm going to underline the coefficient in green. 2n to the fifth, what's our coefficient? The coefficient, we define it as the number that comes before the base, not affected by the power. Jocelyn, it is the 2. Okay, the 2 is our coefficient. I'm going to underline the base in red. What's the base of 2n to the fifth? What is affected by the power? What is the power attached to, Andrea? It is the n. And then underline the exponent in blue. What is our exponent? What's our power? How many times is the n being multiplied by itself, Leah? 5. Okay? So the order that this kind of goes in is coefficient, base, exponent. Coefficient, base, exponent, right? And then writing this out in expanded form, what's that going to look like? Here it's in exponent form. What is it in expanded form? Paisley. Very good. Okay, there's only one 2, right? Because the 2 is not affected by the power. Our coefficient only appears once. What's being multiplied over and over and over again is the n. And it's being multiplied by itself 5 times. Now, who can defend, who can explain why that coefficient is not attached to the power? Why it's, we already kind of talked about this back in PO3. Nathan? No? Colin? All goes back to PERMDAS. Okay, exponents come before multiplication. They're a whole nother level. So we have to do the exponents with the n before we multiply by 2. Remember, the operation here is really 2 times n to the fifth. That exponent comes first. And because the 2 is not affected by the power, it happens after the n times n times n times n times n times n. Okay? So if n is 2, really this becomes a whole bunch of 2's all being multiplied together, which equals 64. Okay? Negative 10n cubed. What's our coefficients? What's our coefficient, Nathan? Negative 10. What's our base? What's our base? Charlotte. N. What's our exponent? Caitlin. 3. What is this in expanded form? Izzy. Negative 10 times n times n times n, right? Negative 10's coefficient, not affected by the power. When we plug in the 2 there, though, it becomes negative 10 times 2 times 2 times 2, which gives us negative 80. Okay, which gives us negative 80. Point to one on here where the coefficient is affected by the power. Because, of course, to every rule, there's an exception, right? In PERMDAS, we have that exception. That Tristan?
The one right below the one we just did.
Yeah, that's 6n cubed. This one here. What about this expression makes the 6 part of the base? Paisley? It's in parentheses. Okay? Parentheses join the base and the coefficient together. So when we write this out in expanded form, it is going to be 6n times 6n times 6n. Right? We're multiplying everything inside of the parentheses by itself 3 times. If you want to rewrite this to be 6 times 6 times 6 times n times n times n. That's okay, right? You can multiply things in any order, so either way is fine. If you want to substitute that n to be 2 and take 12 times 12 times 12, that's fine too, right? Either way works. Okay, but that would be a situation where the coefficient is part of the base because of those parentheses. So watch out for that. Andrea. Yeah, the fourth one here. N cubed is in parentheses. We're taking it twice. So what's being squared? Nathan.
No, the entire.
The entire thing in parentheses. We're taking n cubed and we're squaring it. Okay, n cubed times n cubed. Further expanded, how many n's do we really have here total all being multiplied together? We got 6 of them in all. Because each of these n cubes is an n times n times n that we're just multiplying together anyway. Okay, so you can kind of break it down. N cubed squared is n cubed times itself, but then each n cubed is an n times n times n. And so total we have 6 of them, or 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Okay, so your objective here is to identify the coefficient, base, and the power, write it down in expanded form, and then evaluate when n is 2. On the second page, similar stuff going on here. You do not have to identify the coefficient, the base, and the power. You need to write each term below in expanded form. Evaluate when n is 2, and sometimes you have a y in there also, when y is 3. Okay, so similar to what we did up top. This first one, 5 cubed, we don't have a variable to worry about, but what is this in expanded form? 5 cubed. Expanded form. Paul? 5 times 5 times 5, which equals what? 125. Okay? If you really want to put me over the edge, one of my biggest pet peeves is when someone says 5 cubed is 15. Okay? It just drives me absolutely bonkers. Yeah. 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 If it was 5 times 3, it would be written as 5 times 3. It is not written as 5 times 3. It is written as 5 cubed. Therefore, it's different. Okay? It is time to go. So any other questions, Katie? Yes. Good. I'm glad she did. Homework for tomorrow. The rest of the objective, that's how you math.